So guys, I think we've just seen the worst. And I mean, the worst call in the history of sport. I think we actually might have just seen the worst call in the entire history of sport. And, like, this is a shock that it is actually not DJonai Carrington committing a flagrant foul.
Carrington is one of the most controversial figures in the WNBA right now, and trust me, after what happened in that Dallas Wings versus Golden State Valkyries game on July 26, her story just got a whole lot more interesting. After making headlines for all the wrong reasons, DJ has finally gotten a taste of her own medicine, and what might be the most ironic twist of the 2025 WNBA season.
That call on DJonai when Tiffany literally flew over her, wild. And then if you saw Paige's face when it was like, I think like 55 seconds left on the clock or something like that, and the coach was like giving them the next play, bruh.
WNBA's officiating issues have plagued the entire league. Carrington had somehow managed to avoid being on the receiving end of any truly outrageous calls that all changed on July 26, when the narrative flipped, and she finally felt the sting of the league's most baffling officiating case.
Does not look nor play like she's 35. Okay, she be bringing it to them girls each and every night. She got that, acting like that face harness, okay, like to protect her face, her eyes, her nose, whatever that is. She be look like a dominatrix to me. I'd be like, bro, who is that? She looks like it's giving Scarecrow, or like a Black Raven vibe, okay, like a hawk. Like she looks like a bird of prey, okay, and that's how she plays. She plays like a bird of prey, while the other girls in the court are just worms to her. Okay, they are bird food because she be cooking and eating everybody.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. With under 2 minutes left and Dallas down by 3, Janelle Salon's deep 3 missed, sparking a scramble. Carrington chased the rebound, but wisely pulled back, letting the ball roll out to give Dallas possession. A smart heads-up move, then came chaos. Tiffany Hayes, sprinting full speed, collided violently into the now stationary Carrington from behind, sending both players crashing to the floor. By any standard, it looked like a foul on Hayes. She initiated the contact and was clearly out of control.
So the ball gets swung. Janelle Salon shoots the ball. It's coming out. It's coming out. It's coming out. So DJonai Carrington is just shielding the ball out of bounds. She's just shielding the ball out of bounds, as you do. And Tiffany Hayes tackles her to the ground.
For some reason, the referees called the foul on Carrington, leaving even season WNBA fans stunned. Let me repeat that because it's so ridiculous it bears repeating. Tiffany Hayes ran full speed into a stationary DJ Carrington, knocked her to the ground, and the referees somehow decided that Carrington was the one who committed the foul. It was such an odd, usually wrong call that even people who couldn't stand Carrington were admitting it was a terrible decision by the officials.
And was able to draw a foul. I'm like, what is this? I mean, she almost deleted freaking DJonai. I thought, like, I was really gravely concerned for DJonai Carrington's life and health. I'm like, did y'all not just see Tiffany Hayes just throw her body up against her and slam her to the ground? This is crazy. Literally slammed her. DJonai Carrington got pushed into a freaking old white man's lap because of Tiffany Hayes jumping on her like she ain't got no sense.
It's now here's where the story gets really interesting, and where the karma aspect comes into full view. Under normal circumstances, are called this bad would have sparked immediate outrage from WNBA fans. Play years, analysts and casual observers like would have been up in arms about such an obvious officiating error. Social media would have been flooded with criticism of the referees and sympathy for the player who got screwed over. But this wasn't a normal circumstance, and DJ Carrington isn't just any player. The fan reaction was swift and brutal, but not in the way you might expect. Instead of rallying to defend a player who had clearly been wronged by a terrible call, fans essentially said, good, she had a...
Skylar's going down for a fast break layup. DJonai winds up and smacks her across the head, and Skylar is on the ground having a hard time getting up. But this was something where people are saying, okay, DJonai, this is happening a little bit too much for my liking. These hard fouls, these reckless plays are happening a little bit too much. And I want to show you guys one more play that was also in that game that actually injured Gabby Williams. Now, if you watch here, Gabby Williams is going up for a little mid-range jumper. DJonai jumps to try to block her, and she comes down to where Gabby Williams doesn't have enough landing space. So she lands in her landing space, and then Gabby Williams rolls her ankle.
Sentiment on social media was unmistakable. Fans who would watch Carrington poke Caitlin Clark in the eye, commit multiple flagrant fouls, and generally play with what they saw as dirty tactics, suddenly found themselves experiencing a moment of satisfaction. Comments poured, and along the lines of karma finally caught up with her. And now she knows how it feels. The reaction was so uniform that it became a story in itself. Here was a player who had been genuinely wronged by officiating getting essentially no sympathy from the basketball community. Because of her own previous actions, it was a perfect example of how reputation and past behavior can color public perception, even when someone is clearly the victim of an injustice.
So once again, DJonai Ratchet as Carrington is back at it again, being the dirty player that she is, man. So now we're pulling players to the floor by their hair. But what did we tweet earlier this week, everybody? Y'all fans swear I'm such a dirty player. I'm so over this narrative. But I just play hard as fuck, and I just make a play on the ball, and I'm tired of people calling me a dirty player.
Calling it one of the worst calls in WNBA history might be an understatement. Carrington did everything right, chased the ball, pulled back, and held her ground. He's charging in full speed. Slammed into her from behind. Carrington never moved or initiated contact, yet somehow got called for the foul. By any rule or logic, it should have been a foul on Hayes, or no call. The call was so bad that even Golden State fans, who benefited from the decision, had trouble defending, and Dallas fans were rightfully furious, not just because it cost their team possession in a crucial moment, but because it represented everything wrong with WNBA officiate. The game shifted momentum completely. Which should have been Dallas ball instead became Golden State possession, and the Valkyries went on to win by 10 points.
It is Dallas ball. But you know what another referee called? Do you know what another referee called? So one says it's Dallas ball. Another referee, as you can see right here, Salon miss, Valkyries rebound. Apparently Tiffany Hayes got the rebound, and DJonai fouled Tiffany Hayes. Apparently, Tiffany Hayes got the rebound and got fouled by jumping on DJonai Carrington.
Beautiful irony of this entire situation wasn't lost on in when paying attention. Carrington had poked Caitlin Clark in the eye with no foul call and no punishment from the league. She committed multiple flagrant boils that were later rescinded on appeal. She'd created situations that required security intervention with referees. Through all of this, she had somehow avoided being on the wrong end of the officiating lottery that had been affecting other players all season. But on July 26, karma finally caught up with her in the most perfect way possible. The timing couldn't have been more perfect either. This happened during a tight game where every session mattered. In a season where Dallas was struggling and needed every win they could get, the call directly led to points for the opposition and contributed to a loss.
DJonai Carrington, damn, I didn't think it was this bad. She played for 15 minutes. It felt like it was longer. She had 4 points, 1 assist, and 4 rebounds. I'm gonna tell you why we should have won, okay? When it comes to the biggest lead, the Dallas Wings had 12-point lead. We blew a 12-point lead, whereas the Golden State Valkyries only by 2. They had 10 points over us at the most in this game. 12 versus 10 points.
In most cases, when a player gets screwed over by officiating, they can count on at least some level of public support. Fans might criticize the call, analysts might break down the play to show how wrong the officials were, and social media might rally around the wrong player. None of that happened for DJ Carrington. Instead, the overwhelming reaction was essentially sucks to be her. But she brought this on herself. It was a perfect example of how past actions can affect current perceptions, even when someone is clearly the victim of an injustice. When fans are more interested in seeing a player get screwed over by bad officiating, when they are in criticizing the officiating itself, it suggests that the league has lost some credibility with its own fan base.
Is this? Look, pulling players to the floor by their hair is not making plays on the ball. This is not basketball. WNBA. When is she going to get fined, suspended, or kicked out of the league for this reckless behavior? This is the fourth incident. The Lynx incident, taking out Ariel Atkins, taking out Skylar Diggins, and now the LA Sparks. When is it going to stop, man? When is accountability going to be taken for her being the dirty player and ratchet that she is?
That many fans have given up on expecting fair and consistent officiating. The incident also demonstrates how individual players can become lightning rods for broader frustrations within the league. Carrington's reputation for physical, sometimes dangerous play made her a perfect target for fans who were frustrated with what they saw as a lack of accountability in the WNBA. From a competitive standpoint, the fact that this bad can happen in crucial moments of close games raises questions about the league's ability to maintain the integrity of its competition. If fans start to believe that games can be decided by incompetent or biased officiating, it undermines the entire enterprise of official basketball.
Black and white sports reporters, well, it doesn't matter how many times DJonai Carrington wants to get on her social media and want to claim that she's the victim and that she's not a dirty player. The league has rescinded fouls. Yeah, the league's rescinding flagrant fouls on you because it's run by a bunch of cowards. They're flagrant fouls. They're dirty plays. They're trashy plays. Someone's going to get very physically injured. At this point, DJonai Carrington, forget about it. You won't beat these allegations.
So where does DJ Carrington go from here? The karma moment of July 26 was satisfying for her critics, but it doesn't erase the legitimate concerns about her style of play or her interactions with officials and opponents. If anything, it might serve as a wake-up call about how her reputation is affecting her standing in the league. The reality is that Carrington is actually a talented player who earned her Most Improved Player award through legitimate improvement and hard work. Her defensive skills are genuine and authentic. Development over the past few seasons has been impressive. The problem is that her reputation for dangerous play and poor sportsmanship is overshadowing her basketball ability. The fact that even her own fans couldn't muster much sympathy when she was clearly wrong by officiating should be a sobering wake-up call.
That might be, that is the worst call I've ever seen in basketball. That is actually the worst call I've ever seen in basketball. She just jumped through her. She knew. It is what it is. People will shield or get in the way of the ball and stand there. She just jumped over the back. Worst case scenario, it's an over the back foul. Worst case scenario, it's an over the back. It is at least a foul on Tiffany Hayes, if not a flagrant.
The DJ Carrington karma incident offers several important lessons for the WNBA as it continues to grow and develop as a league. First, and most obviously, the officiating quality needs to improve dramatically. Because this bad and crucial moments of games can't happen in a professional league that wants to be taken seriously. Second, the league needs to do a better job of managing player behavior and maintaining consistent discipline. Carrington's pattern of questionable plays should have been addressed more directly by the league office, rather than allowing her reputation to build to the point where fans celebrated her misfortune. Finally, the WNBA needs to recognize that its credibility depends on fans believing that games are decided by player performance rather than officiating incompetence. When fans are more interested in seeing karma served than in seeing fair play, it suggests that the league has work to do in rebuilding trust with its audience.
You will not. Of course they're rescinding the fouls. That's what this league does. All right? Look, people can tell the difference between physical play and dirty play. And now there's a laundry list of evidence. Look, at this point, DJonai Carrington should have been suspended, fined multiple times over. Of course they will. Now we're gonna hit you with a flagrant, and then behind the scenes we're cool. We're gonna rescind the flagrant.
Throughout this entire saga, the connection to Caitlin Clark has been impossible to ignore. The eye poke incident in September 2024 was really the beginning of Carrington's reputation problems, and it's fitting that her karma moment came in a season where Clark continued to be the league's biggest star and most closely watched player. The contrast between how the two players handle controversy He couldn't be more stark when Clark was poked in the eye. She handled it with grace, defended carrying tons intent, and focused on her own performance. Clark has become beloved not just for her basketball skills, but for her sportsmanship and maturity. Carrington, despite being a talented player, has become a polarizing figure associated with dangerous play and poor decision-making. The karma moment of July 26th felt like the basketball universe evening the score. Between these two players, Clark had been the victim of a no-call that could have been a fan.